The month of August was a particularly dangerous one in El Salvador. There were 907 murders during the month, and the year's death toll for police officers grew to 50. The murder rate here is about 25 a day. Officials say 4 out of 5 of those killings are gang-related. El Salvador's violent reality is of great interest to law enforcement agencies in the United States. Gangs like MS-13 and 18th Street have footholds in places like Boston, Los Angeles, Houston, Newark, Charlotte, and Northern Virginia. Local investigations of gang-related violence often will have links that reach back to gang leaders in El Salvador.
There's no doubt that the problems in El Salvador have an effect on what happens in the United States. There are gang members here in El Salvador who continue to direct the operations of gang cliques in the United States, in certain cities in the United States. They can give directions about the gang organization and structure, about recruiting. And this definitely has an effect in our communities in the United States.
Cultivating relationships between U.S. law enforcement and police in Central America is the goal of the Central American Law Enforcement Exchange, or CALI. Since 2009, the program, co-sponsored by the FBI and the U.S. State Department, has brought together law enforcement officers from U.S. cities and Central American countries where MS-13 and 18th Street operate. During the 3-week program, officers developed a better understanding of the transnational gang picture. This year's group included police and prosecutors from Boston, Houston, L.A., and Charlotte in the U.S., training alongside counterparts from El Salvador, Honduras, Costa Rica, Panama, and Belize. Though normally separated by language and hundreds of miles, the CALI participants quickly found they share a lot in common.
As these guys are talking cases, etc., they really start making connections they never saw were there before. So someone from Boston says, you know, the guy you're talking about down in Houston, that's a guy that we've heard of on our case. Or that guy that you guys are focusing on in prison in El Salvador, our guys are taking direction from him.
The program included 2 weeks in Los Angeles and Houston, where about 40 participants got a better understanding of the gang issues there and law enforcement's techniques for dealing with them. In Los Angeles, participants heard from law enforcement officials, including prosecutors, who stressed the importance of their working closely with police. In Houston, FBI agents provided tactical training, an important element for police who may receive little such training at home because of scarce resources. The final week was spent in El Salvador, where gangs have become powerful and extremely violent.
The gang problem in El Salvador is very serious. 80% of the homicides in El Salvador are attributed to gang-on-gang fighting, gang-on-gang issues. Most of the issues are territory. The territory is the gang's way to make money, so they are fighting for that territory.
CALI participants visited the town of Sonsonate in western El Salvador, where graffiti tags revealed the lines of demarcation for neighborhoods claimed by gangs. Participants also visited a jail filled beyond capacity with gang members. The crowded facility, located next to an elementary school, helped to illustrate the scope of the problem.
There are 851 inmates here. It's a facility that is supposed to hold 250 inmates. But the same conditions that you see here in Sonsonate are the same conditions that you see in all other 21 prisons here in El Salvador.
During their week in El Salvador, participants also saw firsthand how the FBI is working closely with local law enforcement to investigate and try to dismantle the gang's extensive networks. In 2008, the FBI established the Transnational Anti-Gang Task Force, or TAG. FBI agents are embedded with Central American police officers to work cases and gather intelligence. Since its inception, the TAG has provided investigators with the means to track cases and suspects across borders.
We now have a liaison, a resource that investigators in the United States, when they get to that point where they realize that one of their principal subjects is located down here, whether he's incarcerated or whether he's free, they now have resources where they can go to further that investigation.
Punctuating the gravity of the problem and the need to work together to find solutions, El Salvador's top law enforcement officials each addressed the CALI group. The director of El Salvador's National Police said the close collaboration with the FBI and partner agencies is a key element in his arsenal against gangs.
It's one of the most important tools that we have, through which we are able to do better work in our different areas.
For U.S. law enforcement agencies, the most important element of the 3-week training was getting acquainted with their Central American counterparts and knowing there's a person they can call for assistance on a transnational case.
We definitely have seen cases where intelligence that is being gained from the tag in country is being passed to our counterparts in the United States, to our FBI agents who are working these cases. And as a result, they've been able to go out and investigate cases. They've been able to go out and warn people whose lives are in danger. And really, they've been able to expand their capabilities when it comes to investigating these groups overseas. I think that's part of our goal here, is to really give everyone a chance to receive this kind of training, to work together, so that in the future, we really are facilitating better cooperation between all the law enforcement agencies. And I think ultimately that is the most important thing that we're doing here, right? Is we're working together. All these different law enforcement agencies coming together and making things happen.